Part 2. Constructed response questions. 28 points. Directions. This part has 2 sections. Follow the directions for each question. Write your answers on the answer booklet and label the section number 1, 2. If your handwriting is illegible, you do not label the section number, or you label it incorrectly so graders cannot clearly identify your answers. No points will be awarded for that part. Write your answers in black ink with a pen that has a thicker tip. Do not use a pencil. 2. English composition. 20 points. Directions. 1. Write an English composition on the answer booklet according to the prompt. 2. Write at least 120 words. Prompt. The image below is a news photo of tourists visiting a certain place. What scene do you think the image shows? How do you feel about this scene? Based on this image, write an English composition. Write 2 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, describe what you see in the image, including the people, events, and objects, and what is happening. In the second paragraph, from the perspective of a tourist or the owner, manager of the place, express your opinion about what happened. You're welcome to enjoy the flowers and take photos, but please do not enter or trample them. Thank you for your cooperation. 1. Chinese to English translation. 8 points. Directions. 1. Translate the following Chinese sentences into accurate, fluent English that conveys the intended meaning. Write your answers on the answer booklet. 2. Answer in order and label the sub-question numbers. 4 points each, 8 points total. 2. Therefore, traffic laws must be strictly enforced to ensure the safety of all road users. 1. According to news reports, more than 1 million people worldwide die in road accidents every year. Part 1. Multiple choice questions. 72 points. 4. Reading comprehension. 32 points. Directions. Questions 41 to 56. For each question, choose the best answer based on each passage and mark your answers in the multiple choice answer area on the answer sheet. Each correct answer earns 2 points. An incorrect answer, no answer, or marking more than one choice earns 0 points for that question. Questions 53 to 56 are based on the following passage. Morgan's Wonderland, located in San Antonio, Texas, is a theme park geared mainly toward mentally or physically disabled children. The park was built by Gordon Hartman, a former real estate developer. The creation of the park was inspired by his daughter, Morgan, who suffers from severe cognitive delay and physical challenges. The world's first ultra-accessible family fun park, Morgan's Wonderland, opened in the spring of 2010. Admission for guests with special needs is free, and fees for the general public are set at a much discounted price so that people of all ages and abilities can come together and play in a fun and safe environment. Completely wheelchair accessible, the park features 25 acres of attractions including rides, playgrounds, a catch-and-release fishing lake, and picnic areas throughout the park. The rides are custom designed to accommodate wheelchair riders so that every family member can enjoy the fun. The adapted rides include the off-road adventure, where guests can test their driving skills in sporty vehicles. Moreover, each visitor is offered the option to wear a GPS adventure band, which allows them to keep track of each other while in the park. The band also enables them to take part in electronic activities. For example, when the riders scan the band at the off-road adventure, a photo will be taken and sent to their email. In June 2017, Morgan's Wonderland celebrated the opening of Morgan's Inspiration Island. The new expansion is composed of 5 themed splash pads and a riverboat adventure ride. The wheelchair guests can transfer out of their chairs into unique, waterproof chairs and enjoy the splash park without risking damage to their personal wheelchairs. Morgan taught me that there's more to life in many ways than what I saw before, said Hartman. The blessing that Morgan has brought is beyond anything that I ever could have imagined and could explain. 56. Which of the following statements is true about Morgan's Wonderland? A. Waterproof chairs enable visitors to roam all over the park. B. Morgan's Inspiration Island includes 25 acres of attractions. C. The success of the park is exactly what Morgan intended to achieve. D. GPS bans allow visitors to enjoy the convenience of the electronic devices. 55. Which of the following is not mentioned as a fun activity in the park? A. Fishing. B. Driving. C. Hiking. D. Picnicking. 54. What does ultra accessible in the second paragraph imply? A. It's easy for all visitors to use the facilities. B. Admission is free for people young and old. C. Wheelchairs are provided for every featured attraction. D. Morgan's Wonderland is situated in a convenient location. 53. What is the passage mainly about? A. The new addition to Morgan's Wonderland. B. The establishment and features of a special theme park. C. The advanced technological devices in Morgan's Wonderland. D. The needs of people who suffer from physical and mental disabilities. Questions 49 to 52 are based on the following passage. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States, was not only a great politician but also a highly accomplished scientist and inventor. Of his many achievements, probably the least well-known are his accomplishments in music. He invented an instrument for which both Mozart and Beethoven composed music, the glass harmonica. In 1761, while living in England, Franklin heard a performer playing musical glasses. Franklin was charmed by the music, but felt that there was a better way to create the same sound. He had a glassmaker create 37 hemispheres made of glass, with each being a different size and thickness to produce different pitches. The glass hemispheres were color-coded with paint to identify the notes. Franklin ran an iron rod through a hole in the top of each hemisphere so that they could nest together from largest to smallest. He linked all of this to a device shaped like a spinning wheel, with a foot control that turned the rod, making the glass hemispheres rotate. Franklin moistened his fingers and held them against the rims of the glass hemispheres as they turned, producing a unique sound. He mastered the instrument and took it to parties and gatherings to play for his friends and acquaintances. The instrument became so popular that thousands were built and sold. But musical fashions changed. Music was moving out of the relatively small halls of Mozart's day into the large concert halls of the 19th century, and without amplification, the glass harmonica simply couldn't be heard. Concert reviews from the period mourned the fact that the harmonica sounded wonderful, only when it could be heard. So, alas, Franklin's marvelous invention was ultimately abandoned. The popularity of the instrument faded early in the 19th century, but it is still played occasionally today. 52. What does the highlighted "they" in the second paragraph refer to? A. Iron rods. B. Hemispheres. C. Colored notes. D. Musical pitches. 51. According to the passage, why did the glass harmonica lose its popularity? A. The skill of playing the glass harmonica was very hard to master. B. Famous musicians like Beethoven had problems composing for it. C. Concert halls became too big for its music to be heard by the audience. D. Reviewers in that time indicated that it was clumsy and not fashionable. 50. Which of the following statements is true about how the glass harmonica works? A. Water has to be poured into the glass hemispheres. B. Colored paint makes it sound better and last longer. C. An iron rod is used to strike the thicker glass hemispheres. D. The performer's fingers have to be slightly wet when playing it. 49. Which of the following is the closest illustration of Benjamin Franklin's invention? A. B. C. D. Questions 45 to 48 are based on the following passage. The concept of a travel document, which shows a person is under a ruler's protection while in a foreign land, has probably existed since rulers and states were first invented. But the earliest mention of an object which we might recognize as a passport appeared in about 450 BC. The Hebrew Bible states that Nehemiah, an official serving King Artaxerxes of ancient Persia, asked permission to travel to Judah. The king agreed and gave Nehemiah a letter to the governors of the province beyond the river, requesting safe passage for him as he traveled through their lands. Later, in the medieval Islamic Caliphate, a form of passport was the bara'ah, a receipt for taxes paid. Only people who paid their taxes were permitted to travel to different regions of the Caliphate. In medieval Europe, on the other hand, travel documents were issued by local authorities, and generally contained a list of towns and cities which the document holder was permitted to enter or pass through. On the whole, documents were not required for travel to seaports, which were considered open trading points, but documents were required to travel inland from seaports. King Henry V of England is credited with having invented the first true passport, as a way of helping his subjects prove who they were in foreign lands. The earliest reference to these documents is found in a 15th century Act of Parliament, while the term passport came into use about a century later. Nevertheless, passports were not generally required for international travel until the First World War. It was at this time that passports as we would recognize them today began to be used. 48. Which of the following is not mentioned in the passage as a form of passport? A. A letter. B. A receipt. C. A proof of identity. D. A list of seaports. 47. When did the term passport start being used? A. In about 450 BC. B. During World War I. C. In the 16th century. D. During King Henry V's reign. 46. Which of the following statements is true about the earliest travel document? A. It was issued by the king of Judah. B. It was given to an official of Persia. C. It appeared more than 3,000 years ago. D. It served to invite people to travel beyond the river. 45. How is the information in the passage organized? A. In order of time. B. By cause and effect. C. In order of importance. D. By definition and illustration. Questions 41 to 44 are based on the following passage. The prickly pear cactus is such a powerful symbol in Mexico that it occupies a prime spot on Mexico's national flag. The plant was considered sacred by the ancient Aztecs, and modern-day Mexicans eat it, drink it, and even use it in medicines and shampoos. Now scientists have come up with a new use for the bright green plant, producing renewable energy. Known locally as nopal, the prickly pear is farmed on a massive scale in Mexico. Over the years, only the edible soft inner flesh has been used. The cactus's thick outer layer, i.e., husk, with all those spines, had always been viewed as a waste product until researchers developed a biogas generator to turn the husks into electricity. The pilot project dedicated to developing the cactus biogas generator began in the south of Mexico City. The area produces 200,000 tons a year of prickly pear cactus, up to 10 tons of which ends up as waste on the floor of the cactus market each day. Then, a local green energy startup company got the idea to turn that waste into energy. The generator is now in place at the cactus market, where the vendors are enthusiastic about this new way to utilize the tons of cactus husks that once went directly into the trash. The prickly pear has a number of advantages over other biofuel crops, such as wheat, sugarcane, and soybeans. For one thing, only the husk of the cactus is used for generating biofuel, while its inner flesh is still preserved for food. Therefore, using the plant as a fuel source will not put pressure on food prices. Moreover, the cactus requires minimum water, and thus is not grown on traditional agricultural pasture. This means that no increased competition arises for the water or land presently used for food production. The project in Mexico City has brought new hope to reducing the use of fossil fuels. If it can be expanded, the prickly pear could be the key to Mexico's energy future. 44. What advantage does the prickly pear cactus have over other biofuel crops? A. It generates more energy. B. It will not influence food prices. C. It may replace feed for livestock. D. It can increase global food production. 43. Which of the following statements about the prickly pear cactus is true? A. Its soft inner part is often discarded. B. It was not discovered until the modern era. C. It turns into 200,000 tons of waste in Mexico each year. D. It appears in a prominent place on Mexico's national flag. 42. Which of the following is not mentioned as a function of the prickly pear? A. For treating illnesses. B. For personal hygiene. C. For food and beverage. D. For gardening and landscaping. 41. What is the purpose of this passage? A. To argue for the benefits of nopales. B. To introduce a new source of energy. C. To predict the future agriculture policy of Mexico. D. To change people's ideas about energy consumption. 3. Contextual close. 10 points. Directions. Questions 31 to 40 each contain one blank. Based on the context, choose the most appropriate option for each blank from A to J, provided after the passage, and mark the corresponding letter in the multiple choice answer area on the answer sheet. Each correct answer earns 1 point, an incorrect answer, no answer, or marking more than one choice earns 0 points for that question. Questions 31 to 40 are based on the following passage. If you cannot find ways to fit exercise into your busy daily schedule, don't worry. Exercise doesn't always have to be laborious. Research shows that modest amounts of exercise, even just 15 minutes a day, helps ease depression, enhance self-image, relieve stress, and much more. That's right. Doing exercise makes you happy, and you don't have to be a fitness fanatic to do it. What you need to do is to make "start slow and have fun" a motto to abide by. Then you'll be well on your way to using physical activity as a tool to make you feel better every day. The "no pain, no gain" view of exercise is now considered old-fashioned. In fact, current health studies prove that exercise doesn't have to hurt to be effective. You might argue that if working out doesn't give you pain, it isn't working. According to fitness trainers, physically demanding exercises may make you breathe heavily and your muscles may ache temporarily, but exercise should not be painful. In fact, if it is, it may point to an injury or muscle strain. Many great forms of exercise, like walking, swimming, or gentle stretching, get results without the soreness or discomfort some people associate with exercise. For the sake of your health, it is time to make regular exercise a part of your life. Keep in mind that even short periods of low-impact exercise serve as a powerful means to improve your health. So, no matter how busy you are, try to make time for exercise every day, like a 15-minute walk with your dog. Your body will thank you in many ways. A. Means. B. Soreness. C. Point 2. D. Argue. E. Demanding. F. Abide by. G. Fanatic. H. Current. I. Make time. J. Modest. 2. Integrated test. 15 points. Directions. Questions 16 to 30 each contain one blank. Choose the best answer based on the context, and mark your answers in the multiple choice answer area on the answer sheet. Each correct answer earns 1 point. An incorrect answer, no answer, or marking more than one choice earns 0 points for that question. Questions 26 to 30 are based on the following passage. Glaciers are usually associated with colder climates. But some mountain ranges of South America, Africa, and Indonesia are also home to glaciers and ice sheets. These tropical glaciers serve as a major source of water supply to 1/6 of the world's population. A newly published study, however, revealed that rising temperatures are posing an immediate threat to the last tropical glaciers in Indonesia's Papua region. The ice sheets, which once spanned 20 square kilometers, are thinning over 5 times as quickly compared to a few years ago. Having already shrunk by 85% to a mere 0.5 square kilometers, Papua's glaciers will completely disappear within a decade, researchers have predicted. The disappearance of the glaciers will also leave a significant cultural impact. For many indigenous Papuans, the ice sheets represent a sacred symbol. The mountains and valleys are the arms and legs of their god and the glaciers are the head, explained the head researcher. The study warned that Papua's glaciers are only the first to go if greenhouse gases are left unchecked and temperatures continue rising. And this is certainly a serious warning about the depressing fate of other glaciers around the world. 30. A. Kept balanced. B. Made released. C. Seen dismissed. D. Left unchecked. 29. A. Cultural. B. Moral. C. Political. D. Environmental. 28. A. Have. B. Had. C. Having. D. Having been. 27. A. Occasional. B. Elaborate. C. Immediate. D. Offensive. 26. A. Home to. B. Covers of. C. Roofs over. D. Room for. Questions 21 to 25 are based on the following passage. Being hit by lightning is a rare event. Over the course of an 80-year lifespan, the odds of being hit by lightning are 1 in 3,000, not to mention the probability of being struck 7 different times. Roy Sullivan, a park ranger in the United States, was struck by lightning more recorded times than any other human being. Over his 36-year career, Sullivan was struck by lightning 7 times, and survived each shock. Strikes 1, 2, and 3 were pure bad luck, he thought. But after strike 4, Sullivan became fearful of death and took precautions during lightning strikes. Strike 5 occurred in 1973 when Sullivan was on patrol. A storm cloud chased him until he was struck. The same thing happened again in 1976. Sullivan, while surveying a campground, felt that a cloud was coming after him, and tried all he could to run, but it got him anyway. Finally, on the 25th of June 1977, a seventh and final bolt struck Sullivan as he was fishing in a pond. "I don't believe God is after me," he theorized. "If he was, the first bolt would have been enough. Best I can figure is that I have some chemical, some mineral, in my body that draws lightning. I just wish I knew." 25. A. Was. B. Had been. C. Would be. D. Would have been. 24. A. Coming after. B. Getting over. C. Holding on to. D. Watching out for. 23. A. Fearful of. B. Critical of. C. Doubtful about. D. Positive about. 22. A. Piloted. B. Rejected. C. Survived. D. Tracked. 21. A. If it isn't. B. As you can see. C. Not to mention. D. With regard to. Questions 16 to 20 are based on the following passage. Street pigeons are a common sight in many European cities. In fact, a visit to a major European city just would not be the same without encountering them, bathing in fountains, perching on historic buildings, and flocking in public squares. In Barcelona, however, the birds are now threatening to take over the city's historic center, pooping on monuments, buildings, and even tourists. The city council originally proposed reducing the pigeon population by gathering the birds and shooting them. But that idea led to strong protests from numerous animal rights groups. After heated debates and discussions, the government was finally persuaded to consider another similarly effective method, giving the pigeons birth control. In 2016, the city council decided to put its 85,000 pigeon population on a birth control pill to block the formation of eggs in birds. Starting from April 2017, the pills were placed in 40 bird feeders installed throughout the city. It was predicted that there would be a decrease of 20% in the pigeon population in the first year and between 70 and 80% in 4 or 5 years. 20. A. Installing. B. Installed. C. To install. D. Having installed. 19. A. Nearly. B. Shortly. C. Precisely. D. Similarly. 18. A. Counting. B. Reducing. C. Displaying. D. Maintaining. 17. A. Set up. B. Hang on. C. Take over. D. Break down. 16. A. As. B. For. C. Though. D. Without. 1. Vocabulary. 15 points. Directions. Questions 1 to 15 each have 4 answer choices. Only one choice is correct or the best answer. Mark your answers in the multiple choice answer area on the answer sheet. Each correct answer earns 1 point, an incorrect answer, no answer, or marking more than one choice earns 0 points for that question. 15. 1 week after the typhoon, some bridges were finally opened and bus service resumed in the country's most severely damaged areas. A. Departed. B. Resumed. C. Transported. D. Corresponded. 14. The nonprofit organization has committed $1 million over 5 years to finance the construction of the medical center. A. Equipped. B. Resolved. C. Committed. D. Associated. 13. The problem of illegal drug use is very complex and cannot be traced to merely one singular reason. A. Singular. B. Countable. C. Favorable. D. Defensive. 12. It is absolutely absurd to waste your money on an expensive car when you cannot even get a driver's license. A. Absurd. B. Cautious. C. Vigorous. D. Obstinate. 11. The company is flourishing and making great profits under the wise leadership of the chief executive officer. A. Applauding. B. Flourishing. C. Circulating. D. Exceeding. 10. The 2011 Nobel Peace Prize was awarded jointly to 3 women for the efforts they made in fighting for women's rights. A. Actively. B. Earnestly. C. Jointly. D. Naturally. 9. Hundreds of residents received free testing kits from the city government to find out if their water contained any harmful chemicals. A. Kits. B. Trials. C. Zones. D. Proofs. 8. Lisa tumbled onto the ground and injured her ankle while she was playing basketball yesterday. A. Buried. B. Punched. C. Scattered. D. Tumbled. 7. To encourage classroom interaction, the teacher divided the class into groups and asked them to solve a problem together with their partners. A. Operation. B. Interaction. C. Adjustment. D. Explanation. 6. The invention of the steam engine, which was used to power heavy machines, brought about a revolutionary change in society. A. Persuasive. B. Harmonious. C. Conventional. D. Revolutionary. 5. The skydiver managed to land safely after jumping out of the aircraft, even though her parachute failed to open in midair. A. Glimpse. B. Latitude. C. Segment. D. Parachute. 4. Since many of our houseplants are from humid jungle environments, they need moist air to keep them green and healthy. A. Moist. B. Stale. C. Crisp. D. Fertile. 3. Upon hearing its master's call, the dog wagged its tail and followed her out of the room obediently. A. Obediently. B. Apparently. C. Logically. D. Thoroughly. 2. Elderly shoppers in this store are advised to take the elevator rather than the escalator, which may move too fast for them to keep their balance. A. Airway. B. Operator. C. Escalator. D. Instrument. 1. Tom is really a naughty boy. He likes to tease and play jokes on his younger sister when their parents are not around. A. Alert. B. Spare. C. Tease. D. Oppose. This video was produced by YXAI. The fill-in-the-blank answers are for reference only.